Now let's talk about this. This is confusing to me. I think there are people being simply disingenuous when it comes to this. And let me just throw it. Let me throw it up here. There's a level of people, as I destroy my speakers. There's a level of people up here that's running around acting like they don't understand what's going on with the Arch Manning situation. What are you talking about? What do you mean you don't understand what's going on with the Arch Manning? It's just one game. It's one game, G. Bush. It's just one game. And are we taking this too far? First and foremost, you started it. The parallels are there. I had blogs earlier this season talking about it. I had blogs early this year talking about it. I already foreshadowed it. We already got to it. You have Arch Manning, right? Arch Manning, when people talk about this class being a generational class, do not try to pivot and switch at this point. They are referring as the poster child of that class as Arch Manning. Let's be clear. He has the huge NIL deals. He has the Manning name. We've been infatuated. They asked the owner, what about Arch Manning? He answered the question. Generally speaking, owners don't mention players' names, right? 2, when you talked about quarterback play, and we talked about it all off season, we said, hey, you drafted 2 quarterbacks in this year's draft that you didn't, we got to see and evaluate, right? Right? Remember we said that? People said, I don't, and we heard time and time again, I don't think the quarterback's on the roster. The quarterback ain't on the roster. The quarterback ain't in this year's draft. The quarterback is in next year's draft. Who do you think they was talking about? Let's not play dumb. Come on now. Let's not play dumb. Now, also, he's played 2 games. We've talked about this. I've had videos who've discussed this. He's played 2 games prior to the game at Ohio State, right? And he was the Heisman Trophy favorite. Heisman favorite. I didn't make that up. We did that. The media did that. Vegas did that, right? So he plays a high caliber team in the Ohio State Buckeyes in the horseshoe, right? Doesn't play well, right? And people wonder why people are mentioning that. Because here's the thing. When you're told 1,000 times over that we can't be burdened with identifying guys on this roster because we're worried about next year, what do you think the backlash is going to be? You can't mention next year's draft and say it all off season and then wonder why people is diving in to see these guys play and then critique them. It is what it is. And it's funny because we get in this situation. I don't understand why people, what the backlash is. Why is this such a contentious conversation? Stop the cap. You know exactly why. You don't think it's funny that the parallels are there? There's one group of people. There's royalty families in this game, right? If you say the name Sanders, everybody know who you're talking about. If you say the name Manning, everybody know who you're talking about. Now, one group of people got eviscerated because people said they overplayed their hand and they were hype. You got there because of your father's hype. You're not there because of what you did on the field. It's hype. You overshot yourself. You oversold it. Squeeze ain't worth the juice, right? And there's a lot of group of people who said after one preseason game, after taking a lot of sacks and not playing so well, that Shedeur Sanders was done. And that's why 31 people passed on him. So if you say that, and both fan bases have a lot of people watching them, do you not believe that they're going to come back and say, well, you told us that my guy and all these other dudes were it. that when they stepped on the field, day one, they were supposed to cook. When they stepped on the field, it was what it was. And this is the when you say generational, generations is like 100 years, right? And I keep trying to tell people about generational quarterbacks. I mean, Andrew Luck was good, but was he generational? Is he going to the Hall of Fame? No. They told me Trevor Lawrence was the next greatest quarterback after Andrew Luck. Generational. He went in the last round of my fantasy draft or UCSS. I had to take him off the board. Was he generational? Is he generational so far? No. So every quarterback, I keep telling people, they talk the same about Matt Leinart when he won his Heisman Trophy back in 2005. Matt Leinert's the best to ever do it. He came back to college. Guess what? Did he go up number one over there? No. Remember Jake Locker? Jake Locker, the greatest of all time. Jake Locker didn't even play 1 year. The reality of the situation, the Washington, at the time, Redskins took RG3, and they traded a bunch of picks for RG3. It was good for 1 year. The point I'm saying is this. A lot of the backlash has nothing to do with Arch Manning. The lot of the backlash comes from the flippant nature in which we talk about sports and the way we go about things, right? There's a dichotomy. There's one way you talk about one group of people, and there's another way you talk about another. The Sanders and Mannings are in two completely lights. And what you're doing is all people doing is holding up the mirror and saying, "Now, okay, now if Shedeur had one bad week, and he had compared to the resume, when you look at resumes, I mean, Arch Manning has played 3 football games, but he was already the chosen one. He's Anakin Skywalker for some people. So when that happens, you're gonna get people that said, "But listen, we just want to see you keep the same energy. We want to see it. If that's the way it is, and he's just not ready to play." Just say he's not ready to play, but you don't throw no shade at the end of his, right? Just say he's not ready to play. People is just looking to see if you got the same energy. And by the way, we're also looking to tell you, like, look, Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry, guys, you guys ain't showing up to nobody else's games. Like, you pulled up on the sideline. You were there. The Browns brass was there. Everybody in the world knows you have 2 first-round picks. Everybody know you love Arch Manning. You love the Mannings in general. You want Peyton to be the general manager. We know that. So why would people be confused when Arch Manning's name is brought up and people say, "Well, that's the guy we tanking for"? It's not that rocket. It's not rocket science, people. It's not. It's very simple. We set it up that way. We set it up. We knocked it down. I didn't make him the Heisman favorite, right? I didn't tell Jimmy and Andrew Berry to go sit on the sidelines at Ohio State. I didn't say that we should be tanking for next year's quarterback class like this is fantasy football. I fought against all of those things, right? And here's the thing. I don't have a problem. Do your due diligence. Go see every quarterback you can. My only point was, don't go see every quarterback you can, but not develop the ones that you got in camp. Don't go running around trying to find a savior when you could be developing people in your camp now. Don't be going around saying, "Oh my gosh, this is such a distraction and we can't, it's not work." But don't understand when somebody look at you and say, "Well, Arch looks like he's 2-3 years away. Cade Klubnik didn't look like he was doing much. I mean, I like Lenore Sellers. He looked like a stud, right? Garrett Nussmeier looked pretty good." But here's what I'm telling you. When you say that what we need ain't here today and it's here tomorrow, don't be alarmed if people start judging what you got tomorrow, because the real identification process is coming up next. It's easy for us to be sitting here talking about who good, who not, who what is. It come down to preference, right? Most of the time. But my thing is, if you can't develop what you got in camp, What makes me think that you can identify what's supposed to come next year? What makes you think I can't identify that? I'm questioning a lot of things, which brings me to my third point. Dillon Gabriel, the Browns love him. He's the backup quarterback. I'm going to tell you coming back why I can't wait for him to play. We'll tell you why when we get back. It's your boy, G. Bush, right here on the Ultimate Browns. As always, don't forget, Saturdays, 9 a.m. We back in the mix. Make sure you check out the barbershop. Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We are ready to go. We'll get you ready to go right before the Sunday game against the Bengals. We'll give you all of the news, the lead up, all the stuff you want to know about getting ready for the Bengals and Browns week 1 right here on the UCSS network. Don't forget, as always, I believe he's on Sundays now. He might not be on Sundays, but either day, whatever day he's on, make sure you go check out Earl the Pearl Ultimate 216. He's been doing some great numbers over there. Shout out to him. I've been seeing the numbers. He's been doing a tremendous job and holding it down all summer. He was doing it on Sundays in the summer. Really got some traction. Make sure you follow Earl the Pearl, see some shorts. That's Ultimate 216 right here on the UCSS network. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. It don't even be like 30 minutes. It's like longer than 30 minutes now. I just be going a lot longer. It's okay. Let's get to this. We talking quarterbacks. We've talked about the whole life cycle. We got to Joe Flacco. He's on the clock. Got to keep winning to keep your job, bro. Starting right now against the Bengals. Let's get it going. We talked about because he is on the clock, you need a quarterback. You said the quarterback was in next year's draft. Don't be alarmed when people start looking at next year's draft. We just talking about it. We just saying. Now, let's get to this. Mary Kay was on today, had an opportunity to talk to her. She said that it might be time might be, all depends on what Joe looking like because the Browns really love Dillon Gabriel. They really, really love him. As a matter of fact, she alluded to the fact that they might have they wanted to keep quiet on Dillon Gabriel because they were so high on what he was doing, right? That's their evaluation. Well, let me just take it a step further and go ahead and say, let's talk about it then. So let me work this out. Matter of fact, you let me know if I'm tripping in the comment section. We're going to get to the comments at the end of the show. We're going to make sure we get you heard. So if you're in the comments right now, hold on. We're going to get to you. Look, man. So if they like Dillon Gabriel, right? I always told people this was my problem with the Kenny Pickett situation. To me, it seems like the Browns are just throwing things at the wall. See what sticks. If you was a planning organization, there was no need. There was no need like that to be giving Kenny Pickett all these reps. You could have been, if you like Dillon Gabriel so much, give him the reps and get him ready to play. You like Shedeur Sanders, giving them reps to see what you got. I've always said if you looked at the tape and you looked in and see, I don't understand what they saw in Kenny Pickett. And every person that came on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, I asked them specifically, give me a throw, give me a drive, give me some tape, give me any tangible analytics that say Kenny Pickett is him. And I heard a lot of Matt Canada excuses. I didn't see anything with it. And my thing is, anybody could tell you that's looking at it to watch football is Joe Flacco is a better player than Kenny Pickett. He has a better arm. He has more experience. He can run the play action better. The only thing that Kenny Pickett can do is he's more mobile and he can move better than Joe Flacco. That's it. Anything with throwing the football, he has not had that. So my thing was, you gave him all of them for what? That tells me your eye is off. What are you looking at? What are you evaluating? And so when you get to the Dillon Gabriel situation, I said it today. Look, if Dillon Gabriel is the guy you wanted, that means you could have had any quarterback in this draft besides Cam Ward. And Cam Ward was the guy. at number one. You could have, Browns had the picking and the power to get any other quarterback. They chose Dillon Gabriel. That's their evaluation. My question is this. If you like him, if you feel he's going to be a bona fide ball player, if you feel like he's going to be that guy, doesn't that not mean that that's one of your picks? Does that not mean that that counts? You see, what I want to get to is I want to set the table today. I'm not into absolving Kevin, because see, Kevin Stefanski is very slippery. He's very slick. You know, the narrative, if it doesn't work out, is Kevin never really had his guy. Is that true? Kevin really never got to pick. No, I didn't know Kevin was not picking all of these guys, right? You went back and got Flacco. Is that correct? You went and said, I'm going to trade for Pickett. Is that correct? You also made the pick with Dillon Gabriel before anybody. The narrative out there is Kevin never gets what he wants. He only gets to work with the scraps. He's only working with, is that true? So you meaning to tell me Kevin Stefanski was there when Baker Mayfield was there. He was evaluating Baker day in and day out. He made the choice that Baker wasn't long-term fit. Cool. When they said, all right, we'll go get Deshaun Watson, you telling me he was handcuffed on that too? Was he handcuffed when he had to get another coordinator? He said Alex Van Pelt, they needed to move on. They went and got Dorsey, right? But then he said that wasn't going to work. Dorsey got to go. He made the move. Jacoby Brissett was his guy. They got him Case Keenum, right? They made Case Keenum the highest paid backup. My question is, at what point do we evaluate Kevin Stefanski on who he feels is a good quarterback? Because I think that's very pertinent. I think this is very factual. I think this is very important when you are telling me that your quarterback is in next year's draft, but you're already delivering and hanging and really hanging your resume up, saying, look at what I'm doing now, but I don't see it. I feel like you should have to deliver it this year. Should he not have to show, if they love Dillon Gabriel so much, if Dillon Gabriel does not perform, is that all on Dillon Gabriel? Or is it on the evaluation that said Dillon Gabriel was the guy that they needed? I can't wait for him to play. Because at least when they see, Joe Flacco is a finished product, right? Flacco is a finished product. I want to see what you do with a young guy. I want to see what you do with a young guy who hasn't developed, who doesn't have a track record of success. What can you do with him? Because you handpicked him. He's your guy, right? So I don't want the narrative that he was thrown scraps and he couldn't get what he needed and it was just out of his hands. So we really need to go next year and find another quarterback. And then this year, then that year is going to be the guy. And then what after that? Once they get that quarterback, what do? Are we hanging out saying, oh, well, he was just a rookie this year. You can't expect a rookie to play. And you can't expect a rookie to really show up and do much. So now we're 2 years in. Oh, this is his second year in Stefanski's offense, right? Second year. That's when. Okay. Well, now it's 3 years. Well, you can't really evaluate a person unless they get. You get the picture. At what point are we judging? Are we grading? Are we evaluating? I can't wait to see Dillon Gabriel because Dillon Gabriel is attached to Kevin Stefanski. Whether he likes it, don't like it, I'm going to get an actual evaluation. He got a pass with Deshaun Watson because Deshaun Watson was a finished product or close to it when he got here. Jacoby Brissett was a drifting, he was a stopgap type guy. Joe Flacco is a retread veteran. I finally get an opportunity to see what you do with somebody who you keep telling us you absolutely loved. Now let's see it work. Let's get to these comments. Let's get to them. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Dragon and Banditor. I'm sold on Sellers. Release all the quarterbacks in tank. Hey, listen, I like Sellers a lot too. I thought he played well. My only question, mind you, Dragon the Abandoner, I've watched all of the quarterbacks. I'm just waiting on the all 20 seat. Let me tell y'all something. I'm not gonna play these games with y'all this year. I'm not playing no games with y'all this year. Let me just let y'all know something right now. I've already watched all the games. I'm just waiting on the last all 22. And then I will be going through all 22 for all of this generational top tier quarterbacks. Let me tell you that right now. Sellers, Nussmeier, a couple months ago, about a month ago, they said Cade Klubnik was the #1 pick. I got all of the dudes dialed up, all 22. So when we get to this point next year and somebody tell me I like this guy and I'm gonna ask him point blank period, you see him play? Nah, I just trust with another guy. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Because you got the same opportunity as me. If you need something, I'll send you the tape. I'll send it to you. I'll send you the tape. We had a quarterback tracker. We got a quarterback tracker. We're gonna track this. We're gonna track this. Let's get to these comments. We got a lot of what's up. How you doing, man? 50 Bill. The key of Joe's success is whether the Browns can get a credible running game. People forget, but when Joe played in 2023, Chubb was already out for the season, so Joe had to carry the team. I'll give you this. Let me tell you this, too. In terms of the Cleveland Browns, the thing that scares me the most is I don't know what this running game is. And it's easy for you to say that my offense is a solid play action running game when you had Nick Chubb. And you talk about generational. When Chubb was healthy, Chubb was a monster. I don't think people had to understand how good. Nick Chubb was so good, he made an offensive line that was already good look elite at times. Because Nick Chubb could run over the first defender, run past the first defender, or make a guy just look stupid by just juking him. He had just a unique, special blend: size, speed, power, agility, vision, lateral quickness. He could do it all. So, the Browns went as Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt went. Now, that offensive line that he made look pretty good, and they were good. They're older, less physical, more wear and tear on the tread. I'm trying to figure out what that looks like with Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson. Two guys that are more east and west rather than north and south, and guys that are known for speed, not power, and getting a tough 4 yards. So that, to me, is going to be the biggest, I think, the biggest hindrance to Joe Flacco, because at this age, I think he could do it for a couple of games, but you don't want Joe Flacco throwing it 40, 50 times. You don't want to do it. Google, G. Bush OSU defense kicked ass on Saturday. Yeah, they did their thing. I thought when you looked at in the case of Arch Manning, by the way, no knock against Arch Manning. I think Arch could be nice. I'm not saying he's trash or he's garbage. I just think it's a cautionary tale of being like, oh, he's the savior next year. He played 2 games. And that's why I always told people, you make them say who's generational, because nobody would ever say Arch Manning's name because they knew it was ridiculous. That's where them triple standards be coming in. Like, you can't on one breath say, oh, I'm questioning whether or not you're ready to play, or I'm questioning your competition level and you done played thousands of games, right? I'm questioning whether you can do that. But then you say the next dude is going to come in next year's draft. He already better than everything we got, and he played 2 games. You can't say that. You look crazy saying that. But that's what people was doing. Like, and then they're hiding behind, well, I didn't say necessarily, Art, stop lying. You know good and well who you was talking about. Stop. Quit it. Shoot. Let's see. Let me see. Matt Perry Thomas, he said 1,000. Let's see. Frank Ramatra says, lifelong Michigan fan. Mason Graham is in the conversion with the greatest Wolverine of all time. Or excuse me, he's in the conversation with the greatest Wolverine of all time. Whoa. Hey, listen. Let me just hold on. You got to put some ultimate respect on this, my man, Frank. You talking about Charles Woodson? Do you understand? People still is salty that Charles Woodson got out of Fremont Ross in Ohio and went to Michigan, let alone the type of career Charles Woodson had at corner and safety. As a defensive tackle, you're describing like Warren Sapp. I like Mason Graham's tape, but it ain't Sapp. I mean, you talking about, I mean, this is wild work. Graham next to Garrett is going to be so good, no Browns seem to know. Hey, I hope he's good, but you just said Charles Woodson, my G. Let's see. Miss Johnson says, I honestly feel like it's super disrespectful to both rookies to be so open with scouting a quarterback so early in the season. Are you really being honest about developing them, giving them a true opportunity? This is, well, Mrs. Johnson, this is what I've been saying as well. Here's my problem with the whole thing. Don't tell me about why we can't give first team reps away when you just wasted reps on Kenny Pickett. He's gone now. Don't tell me why you can't do certain things. Oh, we can't play him. He ain't ready to do this, ready to do that. They ain't ready. You drafted him, and then you sit him and look around, and you don't try to develop them. But in the next same breath, you telling us, now I'll give you this. The Browns didn't tell us this, but the Browns' actions tell us this. The media outright says it for them. The quarterback is in next year's draft. Well, now that's a slap in the face. That's like saying, I'm going to take these draft picks, waste them, don't play them, run the clock out, not see what you got in them, but yet and still you want us to give us grace to go draft more quarterbacks next year when you didn't do nothing with these ones. No, you don't get that level of grace. My mom always said, you ain't getting no dessert until you eat your food. You can't have cookies right now. I want cookies. No, you didn't eat your food first. In life, you get rewarded with extensions. You get rewarded by developing people. In my old jobs, we used to have, we go on interviews, right? And we used to interview in twos. So I would sit there and interview, and my other manager in another department would interview people, right? So we would sit there and interview the person, and then we would go back and say, how you like them? We would rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, give our evaluations. And then if we both like the person and said, I want this person on my team in this department, I want the person. You know what? You go to your supervisor and say, hey, we both like this person. We both want them. You need to be the tiebreaker. Now, when you go and sit in front of your supervisor, you know what they're going to tell you? Well, if I got a better track record of developing people and getting better production out of them, I get first pick. Right? Because they're not going to waste the assets and they're not going to waste the talent. But if I send you somewhere over with another person and they got a bunch of middling performers, their production ain't there, and they keep leaving and quitting, why would you put a good soldier with them when they're not going to develop? Same reason why, if you can't develop what you got, why would I be doing all the rest of that stuff? Come on now. Let's see. Maya, Miss Johnson, NFL GM should be scouting for every position, no matter which pick you think is disrespectful to. Hey, that's the job. Here's the thing. It's the job of the general manager to go and get what we need. It's the pick of it's the job of the general manager to turn over every leaf, every stone, and find talent. Here's my problem. The part of the head coach in the front office is to also evaluate, make decisions, and develop. So when you talking about, yeah, you could go, listen, you can go see whoever quarterback you want to, but under no circumstances when we talk about this year are we sitting here skipping rows and saying, oh, this is a wasted year and this is a rebuilding year. So, we could do whatever. No, you got to win football games. And no, you got to develop people. And no, it counts for something. That counts for something. K. Slay said, Anthony Lima said, Arch's bad performance is the fault of Shedeur supporters. Here's the problem about there's a problem with it. Like, I know people like really think this, but this don't really work. Like, you can't just blame Shedeur supporters for everything. It's raining outside. Shedeur supporters did it. No, like Arch Manning just didn't play well. Shedeur's the whole discourse is just bad because Shedeur fans are no, it's not. It's not. It has nothing to do with that. At the end of the day, what people in the media are facing is, you guys anoint who you want to anoint. You anoint who you arbitrarily decide what counts and what doesn't count. If Arch has a bad game, some people are going to arbitrarily say it's one game, but then try to act like they got the same type of attitude. You don't. Like, I was there. Like, I was on vacation. People, where's G. Bush? He's hiding. Shedeur had a bad game. This is why everybody passed on him. Like, but you don't have that same energy level when it comes to other things. Like, so guess what? At the end of the day, as we look at this stuff, if you say that somebody is the savior, get ready for the savior's critique. If we want to talk about hype, listen, the hype that Arch Manning got is biblical almost. I mean, this dude plays he's 3 games now. 3. I've never seen a quarterback ever be a Heisman favorite, ever, and only played 2 games. I've never seen it in my life, and I'm 40-something. Never. You at least had to have somebody at work, right? This is unfair for him. No, I didn't do that. Y'all made it. I can't control who the Heisman favorite. You said we was losing all our games to get him or somebody in this class. I didn't say that. G. Bush didn't do it. I mean, let's keep it pushing. I don't know. Harry Ellerby, the hypocrisy is being exposed. That, look, man, what do you want me to say? Because when it comes to names and stuff like that, like, y'all got to realize the way when you say Manning, like, you should, like, y'all got to really, let me give y'all this. I'll give you one case. Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn went at CJ Stroud for not going. Hold this. CJ Stroud didn't miss practice during the draft process. CJ Stroud didn't get caught for marijuana or weed. CJ Stroud wasn't caught drunk driving. CJ Stroud didn't have no domestic violence. CJ Stroud is, by all accounts, a God-fearing, straight to the point, don't talk to nobody crazy kid who just likes football and is a family-oriented dude. Brady Quinn, before the draft, comes out and says, "Oh, CJ Stroud, I don't like that. Rubbed me the wrong way." You say, for what? He didn't go to the Manning Passing Academy. He didn't tell him he was a no-show. Word around campus is he didn't even let him know why he wasn't coming. The level at which people speak about the Mannings is like the royal family. The royal family. Like you don't say nothing. Even if you think that Eli is not a Hall of Famer, you just whisper it. Don't say nothing. Be cool. You don't want no problems. You don't want no smoke. They might get word of that. They talked about this, right? Let's just call it what it is. Y'all stop playing dumb. You said Coach Prime was the reason Shedeur slid. Y'all feel free to tape this if y'all want to tape it and keep it, because I want you to fact check it. You said the reason Shedeur fell in the draft was because Coach Prime was doing too much and a draft process was crazy. Let me just tell you something. The only person that has ever decided that they was not playing for a team and told the NFL, "I'm not going there, don't draft me," and it worked, was the Mannings. So you're telling me it's worse to think that Dion had it in the back of his head and we're going to penalize him to show him, or somebody who actually did it and it worked out? How many circus comments do you have for the Mannings? You don't hear it. How many times do you hear, hey, listen, juice worth the squeeze. Who do you think you are? You're crazy. You're not bigger than the program. Who would work for them? I need a rebuttal. I don't see one. People talk about it all the time. John Elway literally said, "Listen, coach, if you draft me, I'll go play baseball." I keep giving you examples of this. This is stuff people really did. It happened. But the threat or the innuendo that Prime was going to do it, or Shedeur had headphones on, or by most people's stories, it was all fabricated at the end of the day. He's done none of the above, right? But what I'm just so eloquently pointing out is the fact that if you're going to do mental gymnastics and backflips, people are going to point that out, bro. They're not dumb. I mean, there's levels to this, right? So there's going to be some people that'll say, well, listen, it was just one game. Well, we want to keep you on the record for that, because if it's just one game, then shouldn't we not overreact when it's just one game? If you know, you know. I'm tired of all the narratives and conspiracy talk. I want to see football. Joe is done after week 6, barring injury. Gabriel will make 3 games. Hey, that's the best part about it, is because why you think I like it the most? At one juncture, Arch Manning was the truth. He was the Heisman, but he has to play. And that's what life is about. You can talk all you want. You actually have to play. You actually have to coach. You actually have to win games. So, yeah, this week, all that ends. Now everybody got to stand on their own, too. Joe, what you got? Kev, what you got? Because next week, you can't be running around going to games. You better be watching and worry about what you're doing. All the sports dogs, even the Duke of Knee Jerk, is down on the Browns. I need a drink. James Cosby. I'm not down on the Browns. I want to see it. This comes from. So when you go 3-14, I told myself at the end of last year, I'm the guy who said the Browns gonna have 4,500 yards and they're gonna do this and the defense gonna be crazy. And I just gotta see it. When you give me the vision, when you show me, I'm willing to take it. But it's a show me time, man. I can't keep dealing with the situation where everybody's like, oh, but this is next year and next year after that and next year after that and next year. And then this is, listen, man, let me tell you something. No disrespect. And we can leave it on this. I just saw something on on Twitter. And it was Jim Donovan's daughter. And she said she was thanking somebody. She was thanking somebody that they gave a football. It was a football that was on his tombstone, on his gravesite. And for me, it hit a little different because, you know, these are people that gave, I mean, that's his whole career in his life. He gave to, you know, calling Browns games, right? You know, you start to look at the number of people, you know, shout out to Bernie. I talked to him the other day. You know, he's on the, you know, the transplant list. Jim Donovan, who I had the opportunity to work with on the Browns radio network in the beginning part of my career. Jim Brown, greatest running back of all time, right? You know, people starting to pass away. People that put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. How many grandfathers, how many uncles, how many, you know, brothers, sisters that you used to watch the game with is no longer here no more. No longer around. And you start to think to yourself, man, look, you know, yeah, when you 12 or 13, you can say it's our turn next year. This year is going to be our year, whatever the case may be. But I have a sour taste in my mouth when I feel like there are people within the organization that are not doing right and not putting the same level of energy that these other people in other walks of life is putting in. I mean, there's guys who devote their whole life to calling Browns games, to being ambassadors to the Cleveland Browns. And I feel it's disrespectful not to people, to quarterbacks, to go out and look and find more quarterbacks or to scout. I think it's disrespectful that we talk about it's all about next year. Bro, people ain't guaranteed. You ain't not guaranteed tomorrow. You're not guaranteed 5 minutes from now. And I think that's disrespectful to your fan base and your organization that they pump and sell losing sometimes. I can't accept that. I just can't. I can't accept that people is right here saying that that's what it is. Like, oh, it's next year. But guess what? Y'all was telling us the same thing. We went 1-31, and we tanked to get these players. Baker Mayfield at number 1. We tanked for 1-31 to get Nick Chubb, to get Denzel Ward, to get guys like Myles Garrett, right? And for all of the tanking and for all of the losing and from all of that stuff, the draft picks that you got, those are lottery tickets, right? Some of them could turn out to be great players, but if you don't do nothing and win when they're there, what good are they? Nick Chubb gave us some great times. He's no longer on the roster. Baker Mayfield is playing great football, not on this roster. JOK was a great pick. He's never going to play football again. Myles Garrett is here, but he's just, he's a great individual player, but what does he have to show for what we doing? So my thing is, I'm not down on the Browns. I'm just tired. And I'm younger than a lot of people. Can you imagine when people that are like my dad's age, he just turned 70. So I don't have patience for looking around and slow playing the development and finding another quarterback. I'm tired of that. You've been back long enough. And Kevin Stefanski, I know he got some picks. I know. I would love nothing more than to see Kevin Stefanski pull it out, a rabbit out of the hat, and turn either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders into a primetime number one starting franchise quarterback, right? I want nothing more than that. I want nothing more than the Haslams to have their great stadium with a great team in it. But the reality of the situation, I got to call the balls and strikes, bro. I got to call the balls and strikes right now. I got people that cover the team talking about we ain't even talk about nothing this year. So what I would like to see is what you're going to do on Sunday. Because me talking about it, if you want to go back out here and put some games together, by all means, I'm going to drink all the Kool-Aid. You know I'm the general. But I got to see it first. You never know where G-Bush may show up, rain, sleet, or snow. But if you want the fresh cut on sports, you know where to get it. I keep the Clippers on with me. As always, have a great rest of your evening. And as always, even if I'm mad at them, I go and rant sometimes. It's always go Browns.